Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for today's installment of Skin Health School. Can you believe that this is our second last session for the year? I can't believe I'm saying that. I don't know where this year has gone. I'm sure that you guys are probably feeling just the same that I am. It's insane. But thank you so much for joining me. My name is Heather Ford, and I am the Queensland Clinical Educator here at Professional Beauty Solutions. Today's webinar is all about wellness in every detail. We're going to talk about wellness versus clinical results and how we find the balance between the two because it doesn't need to be one or the other. We're going to explore wellness across all business models. You don't have to be a spa in order to incorporate wellness elements into what you're providing your clients. We're going to talk about the power of aromatherapy, the power of breath and sound, and how to incorporate mindfulness into treatments, not only in the professional room, but encouraging mindfulness for your clients at home. Then we're going to talk about some practical implementation strategies. What are some simple yet really effective ways to be incorporating these practices into your treatments? So we're in for a great webinar today. Please, as we go through, if you have any questions at all, pop them into the chat for me. If I don't get around to answering them today, we'll absolutely get back to you. You can also always send us an email at education@probeautysolutions.com.au. But without any further ado, let's dive in. So, when we think about why clients come to us, it's easy to sometimes focus on visible results. So, clearer skin, reduced tension in the neck, treatment of pigmentation. They want perfectly shaped brows or full lashes. Of course, these results matter, absolutely. But clients aren't just seeking results, they're craving an experience. And this is where we need to find the perfect balance between wellness and clinical results and how we can balance those outcomes. It's important that we think about the fact we do live in a world that's constantly busy and overstimulated. Modern life comes with a host of stresses. Digital overload, for example, constant notifications, emails, social media, phone calls, all of that keeps the brain in a heightened state of alert, leading to eye strain, headaches, tension in the neck, the shoulders, and mental fatigue. And that digital overload is something that follows us from work to home. We never really escape it unless we make that conscious choice to do so. Work pressure and multitasking. We all, I'm sure, have deadlines, we work long hours, and we juggle multiple responsibilities at one time or another in our jobs. And that can contribute to chronic stress, and often that manifests into shallow breathing, maybe body tension, or disrupted sleep, where you lay in bed at night and you think about what you've got to do tomorrow. Urban and environmental stresses, so noise, pollution, crowded spaces, all of that creates subconscious stresses and strains in the body. It elevates cortisol and it affects our overall health. Lifestyle factors, this is big. Poor nutrition, lack of movement, and inconsistent sleep places extra strain on the body, and that often worsens then the fatigue and the skin concerns as well. And don't forget environmental, emotional, and mental load, family responsibilities, social pressures, personal expectations, all of that contributes to emotional fatigue, anxiety, irritability, or difficulty relaxing. And so when somebody steps into your space, they book in for a treatment, they're not just booking the treatment. They're seeking a pause, a sanctuary, a moment where they can just relax, be present, and let that outside world fade away, even if it's just for 10-15 minutes. Something that's really interesting is, clients, they may not recall exactly how their skin looked 3 weeks after a facial, but they will remember the feeling of being nurtured, cared for, and feeling really deeply relaxed in your hands. And I guess this is really what makes the difference between being a transactional service and a transformational service. Because without those wellness touches, sometimes treatments can feel mechanical. I booked in for an eyebrow wax, I paid for the service, I received the eyebrow wax. But when we weave in these mindful touches, calming scent, sound, and that slow, intentional pace, the experience becomes so much more. It becomes restorative, it becomes memorable, and that's what builds loyalty. Results may bring a client in, but it's the experience that brings them back. And wellness can be incorporated across every single business model. You don't need to run a spa to bring wellness into your treatments. So, whether you're an injector, a beauty therapist, a hairdresser, a dermal therapist, a spa therapist, a receptionist, there are so many simple ways that you can weave wellness elements into the client experience. It begins with a warm welcome. Offering a glass of water or a herbal tea gives your clients a moment to catch their breath and start to really relax in their surroundings. During your consultation, it's really important that you ask about stress levels because a client who's consistently reporting a 9 or a 10 on the stress scale is likely experiencing significant inflammation, which really does affect our treatment outcomes. Their skin responds more slowly, and healing can take a lot longer. And so, in these cases, it can be really helpful to start their treatment journey with wellness focused therapies such as LED treatments. Maybe you get them in for a massage or a float, infrared saunas, a spa facial. All of these treatments are going to help to reset the nervous system and activate the body's rest and digest mode, preparing them for more advanced or targeted treatments later on. So it is important to think about those stress levels before you do any treatments for your clients because it will really affect the outcome if they are in that chronic state of inflammation. Incorporating wellness into every treatment, no matter how brief it is, it's essential. Sometimes, let's say a 10-minute eyebrow wax. That 10-minute eyebrow wax could be the only 10 minutes that that client has to focus solely on themselves. And so, by creating moments of care and presence, you can transform even the simplest service into a restorative experience. And I encourage everyone who's joining this webinar today to review your treatment protocols because even a quick service like an eyebrow wax presents multiple opportunities to introduce not only wellness but products to your clients. At a minimum, you could guide your clients through 4 key products: a soothing serum to calm the skin post waxing, an eye cream. You could then pop on a nourishing lip treatment and finish with your protective mineral makeup. Those extra touches is what makes the client feel so cared for. And in a lot of cases, that then is a beautiful introduction into the ranges that you have within your business as well. For services like a lash lift, you could do a beautiful short brow pressure point massage to release tension. You could include aromatherapy inhalations or maybe guided breath work at the start of any treatment that helps the client to arrive fully relaxed, present, and ready to enjoy the experience. Of the most powerful and simplest wellness touches that we can bring into treatments is aromatherapy. So, how does it actually work? That's really where the magic lies. When we inhale essential oils, tiny aroma molecules travel through the nose and into our olfactory system. And that's what connects directly to the limbic system in the brain. The limbic system is what is responsible for our emotions, our mood, and our memory. And this is why just a single breath of lavender can make us feel an immediate calm, or why citrus scents feel so uplifting and energizing. What makes aromatherapy so unique is that scent has a direct pathway to that emotional center. And so, unlike other senses, it doesn't go through different layers of processing. And it helps our body immediately feel the effects of the essential oil that we've used. That's why it's so immediate, so powerful that, we can smell something and it brings back a memory instantly because it doesn't go through that processing. But aromatherapy, it doesn't just influence mood. Essential oils actually will also affect the nervous system. So oils like lavender and chamomile, they can actually activate the body's parasympathetic nervous system. So that's our natural rest and digest mode. This actually lowers cortisol, reduces our heart rate, and helps to shift the body out of stress and into balance. And the beauty of aromatherapy really is in its simplicity. It can be as easy as a warm towel infused with essential oils, a diffuser filling the room in the corner. It could be just inviting your client to take one mindful breath at the beginning of their service. And these small touches are what really does completely transform the treatment experience. So, some of the key oils that we use and their benefits are things like lavender, sandalwood, chamomile. They're beautiful for calming and stress relief. Citrus oils, so orange, lemon, bergamot, they're going to boost mood and energy. Rosemary and peppermint, that improves focus, our alertness, and also our memory. Cedarwood and lavender also support deeper, more restorative sleep. Peppermint and rosemary, again, they also stimulate circulation and enhance that skin renewal, while essential oils such as eucalyptus, tea tree, even thyme has purifying and antibacterial effects. There are so many more that I could go through, but that's just, scratching the surface of what is available. So as you can see, aromatherapy is far more than just being a pleasant fragrance. It really works on the mind, the body, and the skin to create a truly holistic and memorable client experience. You might even have your signature blend that when you are popping it in your diffuser or you have it in your hot towels, that's something you use each and every time. Clients then will also associate that aroma with you, with your business, with the treatment that they're having. It's a powerful tool. Breath and sound are also powerful, but they're often overlooked. We can really easily bring this into a treatment space to promote deep relaxation. So, I guess we'll begin with breath. When we guide clients to take slow, mindful breaths, it helps the body to shift out of the stress mode and into that rest and digest state. So, even just 3 intentional breaths at the start of a treatment can lower the heart rate, calm the mind, and immediately create this presence. When we pair the breath with sound, those effects are amplified. Sound works on both a physical and emotional level. The tones, the rhythms, the vibrations actually slow down brain waves, They relax that nervous system and they help to quiet mental chatter. Ambient background music, that's one of the simplest ways to influence how a client feels from the moment they walk into your space. And the key here is subtlety. That music, it should sit softly in the background. Or we don't want it to ever compete with our voice or distract from the treatment. But it creates this atmosphere that feels seamless and supportive. Gentle instrumentals, you could also use flowing nature sounds, harmonic tones. They all work beautifully. And you can tailor your playlists in the clinic or within your business to the intention of the treatment. So it might be soft piano or strings for grounding the client, or water or forest ambiance for balance, or maybe deep harmonic tones to still the mind. You may also include some tracks tuned to calming frequencies. There are so many different playlists that are out there available for you, and so many that you can create to be really intentional and what you're trying to promote within your treatment and your experience. Moving deeper, sound bowls, chimes, they add a more immersive dimension. So when a crystal or Tibetan bowl is played, those resonant tones and vibrations, they ripple through the air and even through the body. And these vibrations help to shift clients from busy, alert brain waves, which are our beta, into calmer alpha brain waves or even meditative states. Chimes, they're beautiful with their light, delicate tone. They can be used to signify the beginning of a treatment or the end of a treatment. You can use them to reset the energy in the space or gently guide attention back to the present moment. Clients often will describe the sensation as if the sound is washed through them. It leaves the body really calm and it makes the mind feel still and spirit centered. We can also use guided sound meditation. So that combines the power of sound with intentional guidance. So instead of simply listening, our clients are invited to follow cues, focusing on breath, releasing tension, or visualizing calm imagery while immersed in bowls, chimes, or soft music. And this works on multiple levels. The sound frequencies slow down the brain waves, while that verbal guidance provides structure, making it easier for clients to truly let go. Guided sound meditation can be just a few minutes at the start of the treatment, helping the client to again arrive fully present, or it can extend into the deeper journey for a profound rest and reset. The beauty of breath and sound is that it meets the client where they're at, whether they just need a gentle pause from a busy day or a deeper emotional release. So, by thoughtfully incorporating breath and sound, guided meditation, we can transform every treatment into deeply restorative and memorable experiences for our clients. Okay, so now that we've explored the power of aromatherapy, breath, and sound healing, let's turn our attention to another essential element of a truly holistic treatment, which is mindfulness techniques. Mindfulness is all about being present. It's noticing sensations, breath, and your surroundings without judgment. By intentionally incorporating mindfulness into your treatments, we help our clients to slow down. We help them to connect with their bodies and experience a deeper level of relaxation and overall well being. The great news is with mindfulness techniques, they're so simple to weave into the treatment room. They enhance the client's experience without adding complexity. So we can start with the consultation. Instead of solely focusing on skin concerns, as I mentioned earlier, introduce a stress check-in. So you might ask your client, how have your stress levels been lately? Because this helps you to tailor the treatment while letting your client feel genuinely heard and supported. We can tune into pressure and breath. A client who has the shallow breath, they're not able to take that full deep breath. That is such a indication of stress, anxiety. Breathing communicates more than words do sometimes. And so a long exhale signals their body to release tension. And so, as you're actually performing the treatment, if it is more of a hands-on experience for the client, you will feel them at some point have that big, deep breath, that releasing of tension, and that's a cue to you um, that you may want to check in with pressure at this point. May want to check in with how the client's feeling because they're starting to relax into the service. And we can use breath cues at key moments. So we can invite the client to take slow, deep inhalations at the start of cleansing and maybe guide a gentle exhale when we apply the mask, helping them to sink into that deeper relaxation. We can also incorporate what's called sensory anchoring. So, this is highlighting different textures, temperatures, and scents as you work. So, for example, we may say something to the effect of, this cooling gel is going to leave your skin feeling refreshed. A simple description like that helps to draw attention to the present moment, deepening their connection to the treatment experience. And we want to finish every service with a gentle transition. So rather than rushing the client out, we want to allow them a few minutes for integration. So maybe we do soft chimes or a guided slow breath or a gentle neck and shoulder stretch before we actually sit them up. That's going to help really ground the client and make them feel calm and restored. These small touches, they create a significant impact. They transform a facial or a treatment into a truly mindful, restorative experience. And mindfulness at home is equally as important, I think, especially in our own environments. Once we get home, we are so conditioned to following the rat race, and sometimes we just go through the motions without really being conscious of what we're doing. And so, if we can encourage and guide our client to incorporate mindfulness at home, then that's a really great practice, particularly if you do have someone who suffers with a lot of anxiety. It might be simple movements like shoulder rolls or neck stretches, or maybe they do a small facial massage when they're applying their moisturizer or their oils, which is going to release tension and improve circulation, deepen that relaxation. It could be that when they're having dinner that night, instead of popping on the television while they're eating or looking at their phone while they're eating or talking, just not really being aware and present, encourage them something as simple as, what are you having for dinner tonight? What are the textures? What does it actually taste like? What does it smell like? Bringing a practice as simple as that, it's amazing how it really does bring that state of emotion again into being present and out of that anxious state. One of the most wonderful things about incorporating wellness into your treatments is that they don't require a complete overhaul of your services. You can really seamlessly integrate them into what you're already doing, and you can add real value and enhance the client experience. So it might be maybe you do an eyebrow wax with a thread point massage. So during the eyebrow wax, you could use an eye cream and do some beautiful pressure points up and along that brow and orbital area, really focusing on intentional movements, slow movements along that brow bone and under the eyes. You can use that moment to invite your client to take a slow inhale and hold, and then a long, calming exhale, helping them to release tension and feel fully present. It might be maybe that you have a client in for a body massage. And so you could set the tone before the massage by doing a beautiful, relaxing, warm foot soak. You could use something like the Pure Fiji milk bath soak or the blooming bath oil, which has this beautiful aroma that really relaxes the client into the service before they even get on the bed. We want to encourage our client to notice the warmth of the water and the delicate, soothing aroma that it gives. Guide them to take a deep breath in and then that slow exhale. These rituals prime the body for deeper relaxation. If you're doing facial treatments, incorporate tools. Use gua shas, facial globes, any kind of facial tool, because that's going to enhance circulation, it's going to sculpt, you're going to have lymphatic drainage. And so guide your client's attention to the movement of the tools and the sensation of the skin as you're performing the facial massage. Invite that subtle breath awareness. Inhale to energize, exhale to release tension. Highlight textures and temperatures, describing them as cooling, soothing, relaxing, to really anchor your client to be fully present in the moment. When you're performing a facial massage, you could use a facial oil and really emphasize the mindful connection between touch and intention. So, again, encourage your clients to notice the warmth and the texture of the oil, the pressure that you're using, the trigger spots that you're massaging, because that's a really great way to customize the treatment and greatly enhance relaxation and elevate the overall treatment experience. So, by thoughtfully blending professional treatments with mindful techniques, sensory awareness, and carefully selected tools and products, every service becomes a deeply nurturing and restorative experience for your clients. It's so important to remember that you don't have to be a spa in order to incorporate wellness techniques. It may be something as simple as using a microcurrent facial tool for an immediate lift and sculpt. It might be that you use that beautiful cooling eye gel and do a pressure point massage. It might be after an injectables appointment that you then use LED in combination with that service. It might be that you apply beautiful lip treatment post procedure. There's so much that you can do, and I definitely encourage you to revisit what you have written within your protocols for your treatments and revisit what wellness elements you could easily slip into that, because at the end of the day, it's so simple. It doesn't take a lot of extra time, and it's really going to enhance the treatment for your client. Not only that, it's such a easy, simple way to introduce your client to different products, different modalities, and different experiences that you have to offer. Today was a big one. I really hope you enjoyed it. It's definitely something I'm really passionate about. Um, After COVID, we lost touch for a while, and I feel that now on the other side of it, people realize just how important the mindfulness and the overall holistic care is. That's just as important as the results. And so combining the two is a beautiful thing. It doesn't need to be one or the other. Now, I invite you to any questions that you have. Feel free to pop them down in the chat as we finish off today. Or if I am unable to get to it, we will absolutely be able to come back to you individually. Otherwise, you can always email us at education@probeautysolutions.com.au. For December, or no, sorry, not December, November, we have our final skin health school. I'm really excited about this one. It is on Thursday, the 6th of November, and it is all about debunking common skincare myths. That's one you are not going to want to miss. So tune in. Any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day.